separation technique and solvent extraction. The importance of most mixtures is for them to be separated into their respective components, and there are various methods used in separating components of mixtures into their various and useful components. One of them is the use of separating funnel. The second one is the use of chromatography. Centrifugation is another use. Simple distillation is another use. And fractional distillation is another use of method of separating mixtures. Most material in our surroundings are a mixture of two or more components. They are either homogeneous or heterogeneous in nature. Homogeneous mixtures are uniform in composition, while heterogeneous mixtures are not uniform. Air is an example of homogeneous uniform mixture, while oil and water are heterogeneous in nature. These two components can be separated into their component by several physical methods. The choice on separating technique used for these mixtures depends on their chemical property as well as their physical properties. There are various types of separating techniques as earlier mentioned. We have crystallization, we have filtration, we have decantation, we have sublimation, we have evaporation, we have simple distillation, we also have a fractional distillation. We have chromatography, centrifugation is there. We have solvent extraction using separating funnel. We have separation by the use of magnet. We have a precipitation, and we can also separate mixture by the use of salt extraction. Separating funnel is a funnel used for separation of components that are immiscible. When you mean immiscible, that the components cannot mix. One might either be in aqueous phase while the other one is an organic phase, so they are not miscible. Such components, example of such components mixtures are oil and water, kerosene and water, that is organic and inorganic or polar and non-polar mixtures. Such mixtures are normally, separating funnels are normally used in separating such mixtures. You will discover that what normally happens is that the denser one, which are always the aqueous ones, will be at the lower end, and the lighter one will be at the upper end. So during the separation, you just open the funnel, the denser one component of the mixture will come out before the lighter one. Another types of separating technique is centrifugation. This process of separating insoluble material from a liquid where normal filtration cannot work well. Centrifugation is based on the size, shape, and density of the particle, viscosity of the medium, and speed of rotation. They are normally used in our laboratory for blood and urine tests. We have simple distillation. These are methods in which components are separated using their boiling points. Normally, you normally employ simple distillation when the liquids involved are miscible, that is, they blend together. So they can easily be separated by the use of differences in their boiling points. Example of such liquids are acetone and water, and alcohol and water. For example, alcohol is the boiling point of alcohol and water are quite different. Alcohol boil earlier than water, so when you want to separate, you use distillation technique. The water will remain while you boil off the alcohol and you collect. Fractional distillation, this is a special type of distillation in which you separate two or more miscible liquids, in which with little differences in their boiling points. They are normally employed in our refineries where petroleum products that have components of varied or similar boiling points are separated into different useful components. We will refer to such method of separation as fractional distillation. Another very important type of separation is the chromatography. Chroma means color. In this type of separation, the mixture is dissolved in a solvent. The solvent is called the mobile phase, which carry it through a column holding another material called the stationary phase. The various constituents of the mixture travel at different speed, causing them to separate. The separation is based on differential partitioning between mobile phase and the stationary phase. Type of chromatography, we have various types of chromatography. We have column chromatography, that's by the use of your column. You can use retort stand and burette to effect such separation. You can also use your paper chromatography, that is by the use of paper. You can also employ thin layer chromatography, which is also a method that can easily help in separating mixtures into their respective components. There are various types of chromatography, as we have earlier said. We have the HPLC, which is the high performance liquid chromatography. These are all improvements over the traditional column and simple chromatography. We have gas chromatography, we have liquid chromatography, we have affinity chromatography, we have ion exchange chromatography, we have size exclusion chromatography.